Hello, Dolphins fans. Week 14 is approaching, and the Miami Dolphins are gearing up for a big matchup against the New York Jets. And despite the pessimism of some, I still believe we'll make the playoffs. If you do too, hit the like button, and if possible, comment something like, "Go Dolphins! I believe in the playoffs." I'll start by talking about some injury updates and their potential impact on the game. With the Dolphins as 5.5-point favorites, the focus isn't just on securing a win, but how the availability of key players, or lack thereof, could shape the team's performance heading into the final stretch of the season. Let's start with some significant news regarding Bradley Chubb and Cameron Good, two players who have been sidelined all season on the physically unable to perform list. Both returned to practice for the first time this week, raising questions about when they might be ready to play. Coach Mike McDaniel tempered expectations, saying that while it's a positive step, their readiness for Sunday's game against the Jets is questionable. Considering they've only had a few days of practice, it's hard to imagine either of them getting on the field so quickly. Instead, all signs point to a potential return in Week 15 against the Houston Texans. That timetable makes sense, especially when you consider the Texans' offensive challenges this season. Their offensive line has been a weak spot, and a rested and ready Chubb could be the difference maker in putting pressure on rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. Holding Chubb and Good for another game not only ensures they're in better shape, but also aligns their return with a matchup where their impact could be most pronounced. Shifting to the linebacker core, Anthony Walker Jr. has been nursing a hamstring injury that sidelined him during the Thanksgiving matchup against the Packers. Walker initially exited during the game against the New England Patriots and has been a limited participant in practices since. While there's hope that he might practice fully before Sunday, his status remains uncertain. In Walker's absence, Tyrel Dodson has stepped up. Claimed off waivers from the Seattle Seahawks earlier this season, Dodson has shown flashes of potential. Against the Patriots, he recorded 5 tackles and snagged an interception off a tipped pass. However, his performance against the Packers was more inconsistent, with 3 missed tackles and struggles in pass coverage. Despite those challenges, Dodson has demonstrated speed and sideline-to-sideline coverage ability that could make him a valuable asset if Walker isn't ready to go. If there's any doubt about Walker's fitness, McDaniel should avoid rushing him back, especially with Dodson proving capable of filling the gap for another week. Turning our attention to the offensive line, the Dolphins are experiencing a rare moment of stability. Right tackle Kendall Lamb, who briefly left the game against the Packers with elbow and back issues, has stated that he's ready to play this week. This news is significant, given the absence of Austin Jackson for the remainder of the season. Lamb's presence helps anchor an offensive line group that has been shuffled repeatedly throughout the season. To bolster their depth, the Dolphins have activated Jackson Carman to the 53-man roster after placing cornerback Cam Smith on injured reserve. With 9 healthy offensive linemen now available, this is the deepest the group has been all year. While Carman's inexperience might raise concerns if he's called into action, his promotion signals the team's commitment to having sufficient backups ready for any scenario. With Isaiah Wynn also returning to health, Miami's offensive line has options, giving the team more flexibility to protect Tua Tagovailoa in crucial matchups ahead. On the defensive side, the Dolphins are set to welcome back Kendall Fuller, who has missed the past 3 games due to a concussion suffered in Week 10 against the Rams. Fuller's absence forced Miami to reshuffle its secondary, relying on players like Kader Kohou and Storm Duck to fill the void. While both have performed admirably, having Fuller back brings a level of stability and elite coverage ability that's hard to replace. In 8 games this season, Fuller has been nothing short of outstanding, allowing a completion percentage of just 56.2% and 1 touchdown while recording 4 pass breakups. His partnership with Jalen Ramsey has transformed the Dolphins' defense, making them one of the most formidable secondaries in the league. With Fuller back, Kohou can resume his role as the nickel corner, and the team's depth is strengthened, especially with Smith now sidelined on injured reserve. As we gear up for this Sunday's showdown against the Jets, these injury updates offer plenty of talking points. What are your thoughts, Dolphins fans? Are you confident in the team's ability to manage these absences and returnees effectively? And which of these players do you think will make the biggest impact as the season progresses? Let us know in the comments. The Miami Dolphins face a pivotal moment in their season, with 2 must-win games looming large on the horizon. Sunday's matchup against the New York Jets is critical, but it doesn't end there. Just 4 days later, on December 15th, the Dolphins will take on the Houston Texans in another game that could define their playoff hopes. For many observers, the path to the postseason might seem far-fetched, but there's still a glimmer of hope. And if there's one thing this team has shown, it's resilience. The Jets present a unique challenge. Despite their struggles this season, their defense remains one of the most formidable units in the league. Led by cornerbacks Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, the Jets' secondary has been exceptional, allowing opposing quarterbacks minimal opportunities downfield. Pair that with a disruptive front line anchored by Quinnen Williams, and it's clear that Miami's offensive line will need to be at its best to protect Tua Tagovailoa and open up the run game. For the Dolphins, the key to breaking through will be balance. Establishing the run early with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. could open up play-action opportunities for Tagovailoa to find his top targets, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Both receivers have been electric this season, and their ability to stretch the field vertically could be the difference against the Jets' defense that thrives on keeping plays in front of them. Defensively, the Dolphins will need to stay disciplined against the Jets' offense that has been inconsistent but remains dangerous in moments. Quarterback Zach Wilson has had his ups and downs, but his ability to extend plays and occasionally connect on deep passes cannot be ignored. Miami's defensive front, led by Christian Wilkins and Jaylon Phillips, must generate pressure while containing Wilson in the pocket. At the same time, the return of Kendall Fuller to the secondary is a crucial boost, giving Miami a better chance to shut down the Jets' receiving threats. But even if the Dolphins manage to secure a win against the Jets, the challenges don't stop there. Just days later, they'll host the Houston Texans in a game that will test their stamina and preparation. The Texans, despite their record, have shown fight in recent weeks, particularly behind the play of rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. Stroud has been one of the few bright spots in Houston's season, displaying poise and accuracy well beyond his years. Miami's defense will need to bring their A-game against Stroud, who has developed strong chemistry with wide receiver Nico Collins. The Texans also boast a solid ground game led by Dameon Pierce, who has the ability to wear down defenses with his physical running style. The Dolphins' linebacking core, whether it includes Anthony Walker Jr. or relies on Tyrell Dodson, will be critical in limiting the Texans' rushing attack and forcing Stroud into third-and-long situations. These next two games are a microcosm of the entire season for the Dolphins, a test of their depth, resilience, and ability to execute under pressure. The road to the playoffs is undeniably steep, but it's not impossible. At 6-6, every game is essentially a must-win, and the margin for error is razor-thin. For Dolphins fans, it's a time to believe in the team's potential. Yes, injuries have been a storyline all season, and yes, the schedule ahead is demanding. But there's also plenty of reason for optimism. Tua Tagovailoa continues to grow as a leader and a quarterback. Hill and Waddle remain two of the most dynamic playmakers in the league, and the defense, when healthy, is capable of shutting down even the most potent offenses. Sunday's game against the Jets is an opportunity to make a statement, to prove that this team is still in the fight. And a victory would not only boost their playoff hopes, but also set the tone for the crucial game against the Texans just days later. So, Dolphins fans, where do you stand? Do you believe this team has what it takes to push through these challenges and make a run for the playoffs? Are these next two games the turning point for Miami? Let us know your thoughts and how you think the team can capitalize on these opportunities. Together, let's keep the faith as the season unfolds.